Aaron Singerman here with Chris, the technician Aceto, in Madrid, Spain, for the Arnold Classic Europe. And we have just seen the prejudging, and I guess it wasn't too surprising, right? Overall, we didn't see too many huge surprises.
I mean, I don't think there's going to be a huge surprise in a show like this because the Olympia was 2 weeks ago. Everybody's holding or trying to hold their condition. Flying over to Europe makes it, difficult to travel, not having access to foods and all these things. But overall, no big surprises.
Well, great arena here today. I guess we'll start with the last call-out, which is the top four. I'm imagining, unless, of course, the round tonight will be 50%, or supposed to be 50%. But if these guys are the top four, let's start at the top. I'm assuming we're both predicting Sean Roden for the win.
Yeah. I thought Sean looked surprised. One, he needed more oil, and you mentioned that. Yeah. But in some areas, I thought his side chest and side try didn't have the crazy pop that it had at the Olympia, but he was really tight. His most muscular was sliced, and I was surprised at how detailed his glutes and hams actually were. Yeah. And I don't know if it was that they were that much more conditioned than the Olympia, or that other people were not quite as conditioned as the Olympia, but I had him first.
I agree with that, and like you said, from the back, Sean's his separation between his hams and his glutes made him stand out. Yeah. And then Dennis Wolf, was actually, I would say, less conditioned, especially in the hams and glutes. So maybe that's really what it was. He stood out even more because of that. And we weren't looking at him next to Kai Green and Phil Heath, the glutes and hams kings. You know what I mean? Yes. So Dennis Wolf, I'm imagining in second place. Dennis Wolf was fuller here. He was bigger, and because he was fuller, tell me if you agree, we saw some of the stuff that he usually lacks in his back. So he had the lower lats. To some degree, they were discernible at least, whereas sometimes we look at him and it looks almost weird from the back.
Yeah. I think that he was a little fuller here than the Olympia, and probably a little bit better here than the Olympia overall. When he first came out, he looked like he had some power to his physique, like it was really full. And as they compared him, he looked like he flattened a little bit. Yeah. I don't know if he flattened or other people came on strong, but it just looked like he faded a little bit. But, it was a good showing for him. I think his calling card is, unfortunately, to be crazy full. Yeah. Even if he's not conditioned, it allows him to place higher.
I agree with that. Dennis Wolf coming in peeled and dry and everything sounds good for most people. For Dennis Wolf, I don't think that's a formula that works. Now, in third place, it looks like we're going to have Tony Freeman, who was a very good Tony Freeman, in my opinion. Were you impressed with him?
Yeah, I thought when he came out, I thought he was going to be, first. I thought he'd be second when he came out, and the more they compared him with Wolf, I think that Wolf's had a bigger sweep to the thigh. I think Wolf just had a little bit more like freshness to his physique. Tony looked a little on the tired side, even though he looked really good. But I had him a strong third.
Yeah, I was impressed with Tony. Tony's one of those guys that when he is in shape, he is never going to have the glutes and hamstrings like Sean Roden or any of the top guys. But he was as good as I've seen Tony from. He didn't have any lines in his lower back. He wasn't holding any water anywhere. He was very, very polished. Tony Freeman, when he's on, he's very polished. You look at him, he's good. Next place. This is, I guess, the surprise is this is the surprise to me. We had Ruli Winkler again in looking to be in fourth place, I would suppose. And I got to be honest, I didn't see him in this call out at all. I thought this was a subpar Ruli Winkler. I wasn't impressed. What do you think?
I think that he was very, very lucky to be in the final call out. I think there were a lot. You could pick 2, 3, 4 people to put ahead of him in this show, and he just looked. Not impressive. No,
not at all. Not at all. I mean, Ruli Winkler has been really good before at the New York Pro when he won. I mean, we've seen him really good, and he wasn't anywhere near that. I mean, he wasn't even like a good Ruli Winkler.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's what I thought too. So, sometimes the judges judge you against your own best. So if they're just judging against this lineup, I didn't think he was deserving of the last call, and versus his own best. We've seen him, freaky looking, even in the shows where he wasn't quite dialed in like Tampa and Dallas. I mean, he still had a lot of muscle, a lot of like density to his body. Here, it just looked like somebody like he was just lacking the density that he needs.
So in the second call out, a few of the guys that really impressed me, just to talk about just for a second, Robert Petrakowicz. I call him. I'm not even sure if I'm saying the name right, but I always call him Robert P. I was very impressed with him. He has a very wide waist, not the best structure, but he was peeled and full and peeled.
Yeah, no, on a disaster judging by myself, I'd have him fourth place. Yeah. You can't. I don't care if his waist is as wide as the stage with the condition that he bought, and the fullness that he had on his physique, and the thickness to the pecs and the shoulders and the legs, everything, the back, Christmas tree, hamstrings. I try to make an argument against having him in the top 4, and I can't.
I agree. Now let's talk about somebody who wasn't even in the second call out. This is the big shocker for me. Ed Nunn. Ed Nunn, he's just not getting any love at all. I mean, Ed Nunn was great in India. I mean, he just was blown away that he wasn't in the top 5, and here again. What's wrong with Ed Nunn?
Ed Nunn is going to be scratching his bald head, man, because there's nothing wrong with him. When he comes out and stands, he sticks out amongst, like, let's say the top 6, 7, 8. He's one of the better guys standing. I thought he was like flattish in the pecs and back, but he's always has some type of like flat feeling in the chest and back, especially when he's in really great shape. And today he was in not good shape; he was in really great shape. So, out of all the people probably in the show who have really got to be wondering, how did I not make top 6, top 5, top 4, top 5? Ed Nunn.
Yeah, I agree. Just to touch for a second on figure, Candace Keene and Aaron Stern looks like it's going to be 1 and 2. Aaron Stern in great shape. Candace Keene holding a little bit of water. So there was no real big surprises other than Larissa Reese, who is out of the last call out, so she's not even in the top 5. Came in super soft.
Yeah, she was soft.
Very soft for her. Still pretty, but
yeah, she was beautiful.
You would think in Europe she would come in super hard because that's what they like.
Yeah, I mean, when she's hard, she's amazing.
Let's just finish off with 1 second on fitness, the last division. Adela Garcia looked awesome. There's a chance for an upset, though. Oksana Grishna, as good as she's ever been physique-wise, if she wins in the routine round, could be trouble for Adela Garcia.
I totally agree with you. I think it's close, and you could feel it in the judging the way they mix it up that it's going to be close. It's no easy win.
There you have it for technician Little T, Aaron Singerman here in Madrid, Spain, rxmuscle.com.